So what are the stages of writing? The first part is pre-writing. So the writing does not start with the time when you put the pen on a paper. It starts from pre-writing, germination of the seeds of ideas. وقتی که اون دونه ای که تو ذهن شما داره شکوفا میشه، از خاک بیرون میاد، غنچه میزنه، اونجاست اون ایده ای که شکوفا شد و غنچه زد، اون میشه در اصل برینستورمینگ شما، اون میشه قسمتی از پری رایتینگ شما. هر ایده رو شما قالب های انواع ابزارها رو دارین. There are different types of pre-writing. You can just use free writing. You can brainstorm. You can cluster. Clustering is mind mapping. You can actually using questioning from some questioning WH question words or reporters question words. You can just ask a lot of the WH questions, and the answer for these questions will be a part of your ideas for pre-writing. Then we have to organize them in a logical order. We can use Van Dyne diagram. Okay, this is a free writing. Free writing is when someone writes freely what comes to mind in sentences or phrases without worrying about grammar, punctuation, or making sense. Just write down. You have 5 minutes to write down whatever comes to your mind associated with the topic. Okay? Don't think about the grammar. Don't think about the punctuation mark. Don't think about the spelling. Just write down whatsoever comes to your mind. This is one strategy, and that is called free writing. And brainstorming, we try to list the ideas. Brainstorming or listing is when you freely write down all the ideas in order which they occur to you. You write everything for mass media, magazines, newspapers, broadcasting, radio, television, DVD, whatsoever is related to mass media should be included here. Then you can eradicate some ideas which are far-fetched. They are not that much related to the point you want to develop. By questioning, when you pre-write with the questioning techniques, you are trying to find out how, who, what, where, when, why about the topic. By asking these questions about the topic, you can get some ideas and then you can write them. This is another strategy for getting your ideas. Clustering or mind mapping is visual of outlining, putting the main topic in the center of the paper and lining it with any new ideas associated. You can also group sub-ideas around this new idea. This strategy allows you to collect ideas effectively and particularly understand the the logic contained between the ideas. This is an example of clustering or mind mapping. You are supposed to write about this issue, how to learn English. Okay? When you are learning English, you know that there are some skills you have to master: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And then there are some ideas related to listening. For example, watching the TV programs, I don't know, they're different, or following the news in CNN. So these are the ideas can help you to develop your subtopics. This is Venn diagram. So in Venn diagram, you write the ideas about A and the ideas about B, and there are some similarities. This kind of actually brainstorming or germinating the seed of ideas is good for compare and contrast types of writing, or cause and effect. Okay, so when you want to show the differences, so you can just write the contrast. When you want to refer to similarities, you can write a paragraph related to compare. When you're comparing, you're writing about the similarities. When you're contrasting, you're writing about the differences. Now it's time, after pre-writing, it's time to write your first draft. So the writing starts from the second stage. تا حالا فقط ایده پردازی بود. چه چیزهایی رو باید قرار بنویسم، چه چیزهایی تو ذهنم باید باشه، چجوری این ایده ها رو جمع بکنم، تکنیکاشو گفتیم. میتونی 5 دقیقه به خودت فرصت بدی و خودکار رو بردار، روی کاغذ هر چیزی که به ذهنت میاد در مورد این موضوعی رو بنویس. نه نگران گرامرش باش، نه نگران جمله بندیش باش، هیچ. و بعد بیا اینها رو تصدیق کن و ببین چه آیدیاهایی میمونه، چه چیزایی به نظر مفید هستش که میتونه یک بند رو برای تو تشکیل بده. یا از کلاسترینگ استفاده بکنین، مایند مپ درست بکنین، یا از برینستورمینگ. ولی قالب خیلی اکادمیکش در قالب همون چارچوب یا پلنی هستش که گفتیم. اگه میخوایم یک های رایز درست بکنیم، یک برج رو درست بکنیم، باید نقشه داشته باشیم. well defined نباشه این نقشه، ما نمیدونیم در پنجره رو کجا باید بذاریم. به همین خاطر ستون ها جاش مشخص نباشه حتما کلاپس میکنه. به همین خاطر باید اون اوتلاینر رو بتونیم بچینیم بر اساس این، و بر اساس اون اوتلاینر اولین درافت نوشته میشه، the first draft. So drafting is the second stage of writing process. At this stage, the writer should write a complete first draft using his or her notes from pre-writing as a guide. So you have a pre-writing, you have the plan, and based on that plan, you can write properly. So the purpose in drafting is to have a complete draft, not a perfect one. So the writers are encouraged to ignore spelling, grammar mistakes, and write quickly in drafting the first part. You write, but there's some grammatical mistakes. Later you have time to edit. Later you have time to revise your first draft. When you are revising is a part of high order concern in our writing. High order concerns has something to do with the content. What is the idea, the big idea? But when you want to think about the grammar, about the spelling, about the numbering, mechanics of writing, these are the part of low order concerns. Okay, they are as important as high order, but the high order concerns actually contribute to the unity and coherence of the passage. If the passage is not coherent and unified, so we cannot claim that this is an essay and this is a paragraph. So everything should be logically related. So drafting is very important. So when you write the first draft, it's time to repolish your ideas by revising it. You write the first draft, then you ask your peers to give you feedback. You ask your teacher to give you feedback. Sometimes you have some self-correction. So by giving yourself a couple of days time, so you can just come back and read the same thing. Or after writing, you can just read from backward to forward, okay, to beginning. From backward to beginning, so this way you can see the errors. You can see how the sentences are not correctly put. So revising is the third stage of the writing process. In fact, to revise means literally to re-see, to relook at your writing. Wise comes from vision. Okay, so you have to see or look again. When you revise, you look at the parts of your essay and make sure that each part works together to make a coherent whole. So the coherence, the logical connection between the ideas, the preceding sentence and the following sentence are logically related, and actually there are some vertical integration with each sentence with the topic sentence, the controlling idea of the topic sentence. So this will contribute to the unity as well. Similarly, feedback from others can help you identify those parts of the essay that work well and those that do not. Revising often include adding, cutting, moving, changing information in order to make the ideas clear. You can sometimes add new ideas. Sometimes you rule out and reduce the passage. Actually, you cut a part of it. Sometimes you have to move a part to other place in your writing. Sometimes you have to change the big idea. This idea is not related. You have to change it in order to make the ideas clearer. Remember, in academic writing, we have 3 C's. 3 C's of academic writing: clear, concise, and correct. So we have to make ideas clearer, more accurate. So clear, accurate means correct, and interesting or more convincing or compelling. Okay, so these are the ideas we have to write. So if it's not grabbing the attention of the reader, if it is not interesting, so they will not follow us. If it's not convincing, persuasive, argumentative, tempting, so nobody will follow us. Nobody will read our writings. So clear, concise, correct are the issues we have. Editing is another part of writing. So when you are editing, actually in this stage of writing process, you check your text to make sure that there is no error, or there are no errors in grammar, punctuation, and spelling. These are the mechanics of writing. So grammar, punctuation, numbering, and spelling. These are the mechanics of writing. So editing has something to do with correcting the form and making it accurate. But revising has something to do with the big idea. So you change the idea and when you are revising your passage. But when you are editing, you are trying to find the grammatical errors, correct them, punctuate the passage properly, and actually correct the spelling or misspelled parts. Before publishing, there is a penultimate stage, and that is called proofreading. So editing, so proofreading. Proofreading, it's hard to write on my, unfortunately, I bought a pen tablet, but this digital pen does not work on this platform, and I have to see, can I write? It is not working properly. It is very difficult to write here. It just only draws some line and I cannot write. Well, anyway, the process before publishing is proofreading. Proofreading actually is the penultimate chance, penultimate stage, the last but one, okay? Before publishing your writing or giving it to your professor, you have to do the proofreading once more. Try to see if there is any grammatical mistakes, if there is any point which is not directly related to your idea, you should modify it. So this is called proofreading. After the proofreading, it's the publishing time. This is the last stage of the writing process. And in this stage, you share the essay you have written with the readers you determined in the pre-writing stage. So the purpose of publishing is to share and celebrate your finished product. When writers publish their writing, they produce a clean, neat, final draft that is free of errors. Actually, you repolish your first draft many times. You write the second draft, the third draft, and finally you have the masterpiece after writing many drafts. And you can ask your peers to give you the feedback, or you can ask your teacher or your colleagues, or sometimes you yourself do the self correction by backward reading. So from backward to beginning, you start reading the sentences and you see the grammatical errors or the ideas which are not related. So this is the whole process and what we should include in the introduction. This is the things you can include in the introduction. When you're writing first part of your essay, try to capture the reader's attention. Drawing the attention of the readers is called hooking, or grabbing the attention of the reader is done through some attention getter or grabber or motivator. It motivates our reader to follow you. In order to move from this general statement to something which is very specific and it comes in a thesis statement, you can just state a problem or you can bridge sentences. Okay, so this way just you move from something which is general and then narrow it down and you come to your claims, which comes in thesis statement, and the thesis statement comes always at the end of the introduction paragraph. So hook, attention grabber, or motivator. Let's ask Khanime Fatime Jaliliniya to read this part. Fatime.
A motivator is the beginning of the introductory paragraph. Its purpose is simply to get the reader interested in reading more, in other words, in motivating the reader.
Excellent. Well, so it is an attention grabber. Let's go to the next part. Let's see how to write a perfect thesis statement. From now on, we will practice. After you have brainstormed your ideas and you have some main ideas of what you would like to write in your essay, you can begin thinking about what is a thesis statement. Okay? A thesis statement and blueprint. I mean, the subpoints we have in the thesis statement is called a blueprint. A short list of the main points is called blueprint. So It is highly recommended when you're writing your thesis statement, try to provide your blueprint because this way the reader will know what he or she will see when reading the whole passage. Well, Fatima, go on, please.
Just as a topic sentence carries the main idea of a one paragraph essay, a thesis statement carries the main idea of the five paragraph essay.
Actually, a thesis statement is a sentence or it is the whole essay boiled down into the single sentence. You have a whole passage, whole essay, and it is boiled down into the single sentence. So, in the single sentence, we see the main idea of the five paragraphs. So, when the essay boils down into a single sentence, we call it a thesis statement. But a topic sentence, when your paragraph boils down into the single sentence, and that is the gist of your paragraph, that is the point you make, that is what you want to be verified later by some supporting sentences, and we call it topic sentence. But there is something else, and that's blueprint. Go on.
A blueprint is simply a short list of the main points you're about to present in the essay. Because a five paragraph essay has three central paragraphs, your blueprint will have 3 points, one for the topic of each central paragraph.
Excellent. Let's see what are the examples of the thesis statement. Read this part and we will go to some examples on how to write the thesis statement. Go on with blueprint or subpoints.
A thesis statement is a complete sentence that contains one main idea. This idea controls the content of the entire essay. A thesis statement that contains subpoints or blueprint also helps a reader know how the essay will be organized. Look at the introductory paragraph below. See if you can identify the thesis statement and subpoints.
Thank you. Well, before going to that example, I just call your attention to different parts of a thesis statement. A thesis statement has a topic. This is the subject you are talking about it. Then your opinion about that topic. Then the reasons related to that opinions. This way, if you just follow these three stages, you can actually write the best thesis statement possible. Okay, so let's see the functions of the thesis statement. It announces the topic of the reader. So the topic tells what we are writing about. It announces the topic of the sentence. It announces, it reflects a judgment about the topic. What is our opinion about that topic? And it provides the reader with a blueprint of what is to come in the paper, the details, the claims. So, the reasons, three reasons why we are writing about this topic sentence. If you just follow these three, you will write the best topic sentence possible. Let's see. Here we have the introduction paragraph. The introduction paragraph starts, it is, as I told you, inverted triangle or funnel like. Okay, it starts with something which is known or general, some hook, okay, a few sentences which shows the, it creates the context. Okay, so it can be uh, actually this part is a motivator or attention grabber. This part is showing the context or the background by giving some providing some problem, and then whatsoever, uh, then it just creates a context and tries to bridge this gap, and then we come to this part, And this part is the thesis statement, the most important part in a paragraph, in the essay, because it the whole essay just boils down into this single sentence. Hanım Akbari, will you start reading this part?
Thesis statement. When I was young, I always knew that I wanted to become a teacher someday. When I played, I would often gather my dolls together and pretend to teach them how to do math problems or how to read a book. As I grew older, my desire to become an ESL teacher became clearer as I did some volunteer teaching overseas and in the United States. As I look back on my reasons for becoming a teacher, there are three reasons that stand out. They are my love for the English language, my innate interest in how people learn, and my desire to help other people.
Very good. Thank you so much. As you
You're welcome.
realize, so we just moved from general to specific. When I was young, I always knew that I wanted to become a teacher someday. Okay? This is something general. Many people wanted to be either a doctor or pilot or a teacher. So this is general. So this is not a fact for every people to be a teacher. So it's an opinion. It's a good general statement. And something interesting because we are inquisitive to see what he or she wants to talk about. Then we try to narrow down this by adding some examples, okay? By actually creating context. When I played, when I was young, I played and I would often gather my dolls together to pretend to teach them. So we try to specify everything, how we want to be a teacher and what I did, how to do math problems or how to read books. We're just creating the context and we want to bridge this gap from something which is known to something which is unknown and we want to reveal this. Then, as I grow older, again a part of the context, again my desire to become an ESL teacher became clearer as I did some volunteer teaching overseas and in the United States. So when I was a child and when I was a grown up, so I wanted to be teacher. So this shows how we narrow down everything. And now it's time to give our claim. There were 3 points here. Announce the topic, reflect the judgment, so give the topic. Now it's time to give your opinion and then provide some reasons. As I looked back on my reasons for becoming a teacher, there are 3 reasons that stand out. If you write up to here, that's enough. This is a thesis statement and that's enough. But it is highly recommended to clarify them, to give these reasons. What are these reasons? Because by providing these reasons, the reader will know what will see in the next parts or the following parts of the passage. So as I look back on my reasons for becoming a teacher, there are 3 reasons. So everything we verify, we write in the body paragraphs should verify these reasons. First, the first body paragraph, my love for English language. Second, my innate interest in how people learn. Third, my desire to help other people. So 3 topic sentences, 3 ideas. And these ideas come from the thesis statement. So the blueprints can help us. The subpoints in this thesis actually help the reader to know how the essay will be organized. Okay, Erfan, do you have any point?
Yes, sir, I have, but I'm on my way to my institute.
Okay.
Do you need me to read something?
No, I just wanted to see whether you want to add any point because you unmute your mic. Okay, let's go to another example. Okay,
Ustad ببخشید.
Mehran, go on.
Um, I'm sorry, I accidentally touched my home button. I got disconnected.
Okay, will you please help me to read this part?
I believe birth order can have a
No, just
significant
read
impact.
from the beginning.
Uh,
Psychologists.
Psychologists have argued for decades about how a person's character is formed.
Thank you so
Numerous
much. Thank you so much. What is this? A general statement, attention grabber, a motivator. Psychologists have argued for decades. We have a general statement, we have a lot of opinion. Okay? So these opinions are, or the ideas are introduced or argued by. So we have the verb argued. So they are different people. They know about the psychology, and they, for decades, they have been struggling. They have been arguing to talk about the character, how the character is formed. So this is a general statement. This is a good attention grabber, a motivator to follow this. Go on, please. Numerous psychologists.
Numerous psychologists believe that one's birth order or place in the family as the youngest, oldest, or middle child has the greatest influence.
Okay, this is just setting the context. Numerous psychologists. So, psychologists have argued for decades. Numerous psychologists believe that one's birth order, it means place in the family as the youngest, oldest, or middle child, has the greatest influence. ببینیم داره کانتکست رو برای من نشون میده. الان وارد میشه به شخصیت خودش، میگه من به عنوان فرزند یک خانواده، ببینم به چه شکلی بوده. I believe, go on.
I believe birth order can have a significant impact in the formation of a child's character based on my own experience growing up in a family of 4 children.
In a family of 4 children, so I believe birth order can have a significant impact. خب این opinionشه، یعنی داره در مورد این صحبت میکنه. این تیس استیتمنت ماست. نظرش اینه. I believe the order can have a significant impact. در مورد significant impact داره صحبت کنه. روانشناسا چندین دست دارن به سرکله هم در مورد شکلگیری شخصیت انسان صحبت میکنن. بعضی هاشون معتقد هستن که ترتیب تولد میتونه تأثیر بذاره. الان این نظر خودشو میگه، نظر خودش کلیم خودشه. So this is the claim. So this is the thesis statement. This is the whole paragraph boiled down into just single sentence. So we express the topic. What is the topic? Birth order. Okay? And how it fashions our character. So I believe birth order can have a significant impact in the formation of the child's character. Based on my own experience growing up in a family of the 4 children. Now, these are the reasons, 3 reasons. Birth order can strongly affect one's relationship with the parents. It can strongly affect the relationship with the others. And it can strongly affect on how one views responsibility as an adult. So 3 reasons, 3 subpoints, and it's highly recommended to write these 3 reasons because the reader will know how this essay will be organized. This is the way we write our thesis statement. We start with something which is general. These are the moves. The moves of writing introduction paragraph. You start with which is something general, and that general is interesting thing. It's attention grabber. It's a motivator. Then you try to specify it by giving some examples, providing some context, and then you move to your claim, what you believe. The claim or your belief comes in a thesis statement. That is your point. So when you are writing a thesis statement, you write the topic, you provide your opinion, and it is highly recommended to provide three reasons. The three reasons are the subpoints or the blueprint here. So this is the way we write the thesis statement. So as you see here, we have the thesis statement, and here we have the blueprint. It is enough to write the thesis statement, but it is highly recommended to write the subpoints or the blueprint. If you want to write for IELTS, for in academic writing, it is highly recommended to put these three reasons along with your opinion and the topic, because this way you make it clearer for the reader to understand your better. Let's move to the next thing. These are the features, the key features of a thesis statement. What are the key features? Okay, Shadi, will you please help me to read this part? Khanim Ahmadi. Thank you.
Yes, sure.
These are the key features of
Key features.
thesis. Okay, let's see what are the key features.
Right.
One,
It states the main idea of the essay in a complete sentences, not in a question.
listen,
Usually, at the end
one
of
by one, listen. A thesis statement is a statement. It's not an interrogative. It is declarative sentence. It's the statement. جمله خبریه. Thesis statement هیچ وقت جمله سوالی نمیشه. Do not write the thesis statement in interrogative form. It is not a question. Okay, states the main idea of the essay in a complete sentence. It's a complete thought. It's not fragment. It is not a question. Just write the statement. Okay. Number two is usually
it's usually at the end of an introduction.
introduction paragraph at the end of the last sentence or the last but one, the penultimate sentence in the introduction paragraph is thesis statement. If you have the subpoints or blueprint, okay, in that case it will be the last but one. Otherwise, you can have it as the last sentence. Okay, states number three.
States an opinion or attitude on a topic.
It
doesn't
shows
just
your
state the topic
stance.
itself.
It doesn't just state the topic itself, okay? It shows your stance about the topic. It shows your attitude, the focus of the writing, okay? It comes in the thesis statement. And it often lists subtopics or blueprint and doesn't directly announce your main topic. Okay, it doesn't directly tell what you're writing. It doesn't announce this. Let's see what are these main idea. When we are talking about the main idea as a complete sentence, it means that it is not a fragment. It's not an interrogative sentence, I'm sorry. And it's not a fragment. It's a complete thought. Look, the sport of cross-country running. There is non-marker. Sport is noun. This is the subject. Of is the preposition. Cross-country running. Running is the object of the preposition. And cross-country is an adjective. So, of the cross-country running is an adjective which modifies the sport. Where is the verb? No verb. It's not a complete sentence. Thesis statement is a complete sentence. So in order to correct it, okay, Khanim Ahmadi, read the second box.
Okay. The sports, the sports of cross country classrooming has allowed me to get in better shape and meet some interesting people,
Okay. The
especially
sport,
with
this is the thesis of statement. Very good. The sport of cross country running. Okay. So this is a complete sentence. It is a statement. It is not a question. Statement is declarative sentence. A declarative sentence tells something. But here it is a question. Why do I want to be a teacher? It has its own subject, it has its own verb, it's a complete thought, but it's not correct. So, will you please read the thesis statement?
yes, being a teacher is a great profession because it allows me to work with the students and be creative.
Excellent, thank you so much. What else? The problem of the pollution in big city. Sentence fragment means either the subject is missing, or the verb is missing, or both of them are missing, or the subject and verb are present, but there is a connector, and that connector forces the whole clause to depend on the main clause. So there is no complete idea. It cannot stand alone as a complete thought. That is why this is not correct. But if we want to write a thesis statement, it should be complete thought. So the problem of the pollution in major cities can be alleviated by limiting the number of the cars allowed to drive on city streets and creating more efficient public transportation system. So these are your opinion. How to alleviate, eradicate, remove, lift these problems, how to tackle these problems. Again, the second one is not correct. Why should marijuana be legalized? So, using marijuana is something illegal in many countries. But asking this question doesn't show your opinion. We need to write thesis statement. Thesis statement shows your claim. It shows your opinion. It shows your stance. It shows your attitude. It is the focus of the whole passage. It is the whole passage boils down into the single sentence. So, when you're writing it in this form, go on, please. Shadi, will you please read this one? Marijuana should be
Yes,
legalized.
marijuana should be legalized because it is not any more addictive than tobacco,
Yes.
and it can provide numerous
Medicinal
medi-
benefits.
medicinal benefits for those suffering from terminal illnesses.
For terminal illnesses. Okay, marijuana should be legalized. This is the claim because it is not any more addictive than tobacco, and it can provide numerous medicinal benefits for those suffering from terminal illnesses. Remember, another key feature of the thesis statement, the location. Where is the best location? At the end of the introduction paragraph. English readers like to know what an essay will be about near the beginning of the essay rather than at the end. This is why the thesis statement is often found at the end of the introductory paragraph. We learned about the style of organization in English writing. It is straightforward, it has beginning, mid part, and the end part. So as you see, there is a logical connection from beginning to the end. This is the best place. So most of my life I have lived with bad health, smelly clothes, and chronic cough. So this is a general statement. It actually tries to pave the way and tell us what we are going to write. It's a motivator. So the people want to see why a person talks about his bad characters, bad health, smelly clothes, chronic cough. Then we specified my children and husband begged me to stop the habit that caused these conditions, but I couldn't. They tried to help me, but I couldn't. The habit of smoking had wrapped its addicting arms around me and was slowly strangling me until one day I realized I had to stop. So look, so this bad habit, the addicting arms around me, wrapped its addicting arms. برم کنترل میکنم داره اسپسیفای میکنه از یه چیز جنرال اومد specific از یه چیزی که known بود ما از قیافش میفهمیدیم الان میبینیم یه چیز جدیدی شده. This realization came after three terrifying events occurred in my family. You see, this is the thesis statement and there is no subpoints or blueprint. The reasons are not given. So this is another example. As you see, her written works often include strong themes as a perseverance through trials, love for family, and passionate optimism. So this talks about a writer, African American author. Maya Angelou is an accomplished African American author in the United States. So this is a general statement. Those who know him know that it is an accomplished person. While grown up, so we are specifying, giving some part of his life. While grown up, she suffered tremendous hardship. And this tremendous hardship had some effect. So we provide the problem. And now, some of her most difficult life events are portrayed in novels and poems, such as. Now we specify, giving some examples, such as. This is the illustration of his life, which is depicted in her writing. So in her novels and poems, we see what are these. I know why the caged bird sings, and still I rise. These are the two important books by Maya. Now it's time to write the thesis statement, and it comes at the end of the introductory paragraph. And this sentence tells the reader that she can expect, the reader can expect to read more about how Maya expresses these themes in her writing. What are the themes? Her writing works often including strong themes such as perseverance through trials, love for family, and passionate optimism. State an opinion or attitude. This is another feature, and I'm going to actually wrap up my lecture with this point. Good thesis statement often expresses a writer's opinion or attitude on a particular topic, and that is why we don't write a question, because we want to express something. This makes the thesis statement more specific and requires the writer to explain, to prove his or her opinion in this essay. So, here are some examples to show the opinion. I will try to actually share this film of this class with you so you will see everything. Next session, we will try to cover the key features of the subtopics